The markets may be closed, but the business stories are just heating up. I'm Robert Tan. Catch up with us on Business Brief. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. says Cesara Rowena Sara Discaya, along with several others, will face criminal charges over the nearly 100 million peso ghost flood control project in Davao Occidental. The president says the ombudsman found falsified final billings, completion certificates, and inspection reports, even though no construction ever began on the project. He adds that warrants are expected soon, with authorities ordered to track down Discaya and other respondents for immediate arrest.
Natuklasan ng ombudsman yung mga isinumiting final billing, certificate of completion at inspection reports ay palsipikado o hindi tumutugma sa aktwal na kalagayan ng proyekto. Maging mga video at larawan na hinarap ng respondent ay walang timestamp at hindi mabalidate na tumutukoy sa proyektong ito.
Assistant Ombudsman Mico Clavano says the project was never implemented. No work, no structure. Yet respondents signed off as if it were finished. 8 DPWH Davao Occidental officials are now under preventive suspension for grave misconduct and grave dishonesty. The viral Rolls-Royce Cullinan of flood control figures Curly and Sara Discaya failed to get a buyer at the Bureau of Customs' second public auction. The Cullinan, famous after Sara, it comes with an umbrella remark, had a floor price of 36.3 million pesos, down from 45.3 million. The Bentley Bentayga also drew no takers despite a valuation of 13.9 million pesos, discounted from 17.3 million. This follow-up auction came after 3 of 7 Discaya units were sold last month. 2 more vehicles moved today, bringing in 9.5 million pesos for the BOC. RMCE Metal Products Trading Corporation won the Toyota Tundra for 3.5 million pesos. The Toyota Sequoia went to Jose Maria Esteban III for 6 million pesos. BOC Deputy Chief of Staff Chris Bendijo says the next step for unsold units is to accept direct offers from interested buyers. November inflation is down this month, but the Philippine Statistics Authority has recorded sharp price increases of onions since June. Paolo Barcelon breaks down the numbers in this report.
Food items, particularly meat and tomatoes, as well as furnishings, household maintenance, and equipment, are the ones that contributed to bringing down the inflation rate by 0.2 percentage points to 1.5% in November. Assistant Secretary Divina Del Prado says a big factor to lower inflation was the constant implementation by the Agriculture Department of its maximum suggested retail price, or MSRP, for rice since January.
We started 58 pesos per kilo, I remember, but now series of reduction in the MSRP within the year actually, but now it's 43 pesos per kilo. So we still see a negative inflation for rice. So ito yung malaki kasi yung weight niya eh.
In a text message to the Bilyonaryo news channel, Agriculture Chief Francisco Tiu Laurel says government is trying to balance profitability of farmers and lower food costs, citing that rationalization of food systems is the way to go. However, the PSA noted a sharp increase of onion prices since June. From June to November, prices of red onion have risen by a total of 31 pesos per kilo, from 150 pesos in June to 181 pesos in November. Economy Secretary Arsenio Balisacan says government is trying to manage price pressures and inflation impact, such as supporting the DA's 20 peso per kilo rice program and safeguarding against African swine fever, or ASF, to ensure the recovery of local pork production. The BSA also says it is closely monitoring the impact of the lifting of tariff suspensions on the overall prices of rice. Paolo Barcelon, Billionaire News Channel.
Malacañang says the Independent Commission on Infrastructure has received its 41 million peso budget for 2025. Palace spokesperson Claire Castro says the Budget Department approved the special allotment back in September, but implementation delays and the modified disbursement system held up the release. Former ICI official Rogelio Babe Singson earlier warned the commission was running on insufficient funds and limited authority. He said he hopes the new budget will help drive deeper probes into infrastructure irregularities. Undersecretary Jojo Cadiz Jr. has quit the Justice Department after being tagged in the widening flood control scandal. Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro confirms Cadiz has tendered his resignation. The statement came after reports linked him to a construction firm incorporated in 2023, a company that has secured millions in government contracts.
Aking pagkakaalam, siya po ay nag-submit na ng kanyang resignation.
Cadiz was earlier accused by former Ako Bicol Representative Zaldi Co of taking kickbacks allegedly on behalf of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Castro says the DOJ has not yet released more details on Cadiz's resignation. The Department of Social Welfare and Development thanks the Budget Department for releasing 990 million pesos in quick response funds. The money will support relief goods and emergency cash assistance for families hit by recent typhoons and earthquakes. Assistant Secretary Irene Dumlao says the funds will keep cash and aid flowing to communities affected by typhoons Tino and Uwan. The relief also covers previous disasters, including typhoons Opong and Ramil, and recent earthquakes in northern Cebu and Davao Oriental. She adds that the DSWD is ready for future weather events with 1.3 million family food packs pre-positioned across the country and ongoing production at Luzon and Visayas disaster resource centers. We're taking a short break. Stick around. We've got more stories ahead. You're watching Business Brief. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas says inflation slowed to 1.5% in November, but everyday prices are still pinching Filipinos. Political economist, columnist, and author Calixto Chiquiamco tells BNC's Business 360 that many Filipinos still struggle to keep up with costs. Chiquiamco highlights worries over food prices and other day-to-day living expenses, pointing to a real affordability problem for families across the country.
I think it's not just a matter of inflation. It's really an affordability problem. The cost of living remains high, you know. So, and I think a survey showed that food prices remain a concern of Filipinos.
The Supreme Court urges the government to return 60 billion pesos to the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth. SC spokesperson attorney Camille Su May Ting says the court ordered the remittance through the 2026 General Appropriations Act. The High Tribunal also blocked the transfer of the remaining 29.9 billion pesos. Ting says the decision should be implemented immediately. Domestic liquidity rose 8.3% year-on-year in October, reaching 19.1 trillion pesos. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas says the growth was driven by higher lending to households and private firms and increased borrowings by the national government. Net foreign assets also climbed 2.1% year-on-year. The BSP says it will maintain liquidity to keep prices stable and protect the financial system. The Anti-Money Laundering Council has issued a new freeze order against a construction firm linked to the ghost flood control projects. The Court of Appeals approved the order covering assets of the company and entities and individuals associated with it. This includes 280 bank accounts, 22 insurance policies, 3 securities accounts, and 8 air assets. AMLC has not named the company. Top contractors under scrutiny for non-existent flood control projects in Bulacan include Wawaw Builders and Sims Construction. AMLC says the total value of frozen assets has reached 13 billion pesos, and it expects this to grow as the investigation deepens. Bank lending picked up again in October, up 10.3%. That's according to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Loans to resident borrowers rose a steady 10.9%, but lending to non-residents fell sharply, down 11.1%. The BSP notes that October's growth was still a touch slower than September's 10.5%. The central bank says it's keeping a close eye on lending, a key channel for how monetary policy flows into the real economy. The Philippine Stock Exchange is under scrutiny after receiving a tax assessment of over 195 million pesos from the Bureau of Internal Revenue for alleged 2022 tax shortfalls. The PSE says it will dispute the assessment and pursue legal action to cancel it, even as CEO Ramon Monzon promotes compliance and good governance among listed companies. The tax notice raises questions about the exchange's own governance, potentially hitting investor confidence amid low trading volume. The hospitality industry is ending 2025 on a hopeful note, and the outlook looks even brighter for the new year. SM Hotels and Convention Corporation, led by President Elizabeth C., is boosting that recovery by expanding its partnership with premium hotel group Radisson. G. Baroga has the story.
It's been a tough year for the hospitality industry, dealing not just with corruption issues, but also with slower foreign tourist arrivals. For SM Hotels and Conventions Corporation, or SMHCC, Executive Vice President Peggy Angeles says the third quarter was very challenging. But even with the highs and lows, she says there's nowhere to go but up. She adds that November was a turning point and the holiday season is helping build even more momentum. She's optimistic the recovery will carry on well into 2026.
The business on books for the first quarter is looking very positive for the SM hotels and the convention centers, better than the first quarter last year. I think this is going to be the same trend for the industry altogether.
Over at Radisson Blu Cebu, General Manager Ann Olalo is also looking ahead with confidence. She says next year is shaping up to be strong for the MICE sector. That's meetings, incentives, conferences or conventions, and exhibitions or events, especially with the Philippine hosting of ASEAN.
While Manila and has the bulk of these meetings, Cebu being the second largest, I believe we do have a lot of these meetings. And the opening of the ASEAN Tourism Forum is happening in Cebu. It's going to be in Mactan by the end of January. But a lot of the hotels will benefit from all of these ASEAN delegates.
With its partnership with the C-led SM Group, Radisson Blu Cebu was built as the brand's first hotel in the Asia-Pacific region. And after 15 years, the two companies are expanding their partnership with new hotel developments in MOA and Santa Rosa, Laguna.
SMHCC says Radisson is its biggest hotel partner with the most number of properties under its portfolio.
Today marks our 18th hotel in the Philippines, operating and under development, so quite a large portfolio. Existing 6 operating hotels, and of course growing more with the SM family. I think we've gone through a lot.
They have been consistent with the brand standards that they offer and the assistance, and also in bringing our properties at a level where we believe we've contributed to the community and to tourism.
Aside from its 15th year celebration, Radisson Blu Cebu also kicked off the holidays with its Christmas tree lighting ceremony led by Ultra Bilyonaryo and SMHCC President Elizabeth C. It was also attended by Cebu Governor Pam Baricuatro and Cebu City Mayor Nestor Arquival, who shared encouraging updates on the province's recovery. G. Baroga, Bilyonaryo News Channel, Cebu City.
We're taking another short break. Up next, a quick look at how Philippine shares closed today. That and more when Business Brief returns. Stay with us. Asian shares are mostly higher after U.S. markets held near record levels in a quite quiet day of trading. Japan's Nikkei 225 and Singapore Straits Times are lower, while Hong Kong, South Korea, China, and Australia trade higher. On currencies, the U.S. dollar depreciates against the Japanese yen, Singapore dollar, South Korean won, and Thai baht. It remains flat against the Hong Kong dollar, while the Australian dollar appreciates against the greenback. In commodities, gold rises nearly 0.2%, while oil prices show mixed movements. And in crypto, Bitcoin drops more than 0.5%, while Ethereum gains almost 2%. Philippine shares closed the final trading day of the week in the positive territory. The PSEI ended more than 1% higher to 59.49. The sectoral indices were mixed, with services rising the most at almost 4%. Holding firms fell the most at 0.4%. Decliners outpaced advancers 95 to 83, with value turnover at 5.8 billion pesos. The day's most active stocks ended mixed, with ICTSI rising the most at almost 7%. City State Savings Bank fell the most at nearly 9%. On currencies, the peso is currently trading at 59.07 against the US dollar, down from the previous close of 59.02. Are Nepo babies on the rise? A new report from Swiss investment bank UBS says spouses and children of billionaires are inheriting more wealth in 2025. In the 12 months to April, 91 people acquired billionaire status through inheritance, collectively receiving $298 billion. UBS says that's up more than a third compared to 2024. The report comes from a survey of UBS's super rich clients and a database tracking billionaire wealth across 47 markets worldwide. The bank estimates $5.9 trillion will be inherited by billionaire children over the next 15 years. Google is pushing back against concerns that its AI-powered search could hurt websites and ad revenue. Google Search Vice President Robbie Stein calls the tech an expansionary moment for the internet, saying billions of clicks to external sites remain strong. He says new search methods like using phone cameras or asking complex questions are creating more online opportunities. Stein compares the AI shift to the move from desktop to mobile, noting that ads in AI chat can still help users by offering solutions. He reassures that AI is a powerful discovery engine, helping the web grow rather than shrink. Microsoft is raising prices for its 365 productivity suites for commercial and government clients starting July 2026. The price hike comes as Microsoft faces growing competition from Google's products. Businesses and public sector agencies are expected to feel the impact. The basic business plan will rise to $7 per user per month. Standard business plans will jump to $14. Enterprise plans will increase more modestly, ranging from $39 to $60. Microsoft says the hike reflects over 1,100 new features, including AI-driven productivity tools and enhanced integrated security. Pantone, the global authority on color, has named Cloud Dancer as its 2026 Color of the Year. The company describes Cloud Dancer as a lofty white, a symbol of calm in a society rediscovering the value of quiet reflection. Pantone says the color not only influences what consumers buy and wear, but also shapes global trends in fashion, design, and lifestyle. And that's a wrap for today's Business Brief. I'm Robert Tan. Join us again next week for the stories that help you plan your next big, bold moves in business, only here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.